This time there won't be any semi-final fight between Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, and so on and so on and so on. My invincible belief is that in this vehicle grade against such a monster named as Volkswagen Tiguan, only refined Mazda CX-5 can compete. Our new comparison test drive will show if I'm right or wrong. By the way, my name is Ralph, and you're watching 2hp.com. What I do like in Mazda is its so-called front and beak, and that this vehicle is a spectacular example of Japanese design. CX-5 looks outstanding, aggressive and very attractive. What's about Tiguan? Yes, it's a leader in its grade. The design might look boring to someone of you, like to me it does. But trust me, it's a very good vehicle and it's a leader in its grade, not for nothing. Perhaps it's time to compare the trunks. How to open the boot lid in Volkswagen? First of all, you can use the key fob. Secondly, you can use a button. Thirdly, just slide your foot underneath the center of the rear bumper and the lid will open. Yes, it's obvious that Tiguan owns bigger trunk volume than Mazda CX-5 does. For folding rear seats, all you need is to press the handle levers, which are located on each side. For closing the trunk, you again can use the key fob or the button directly on the boot lid, and here comes the know-how of Volkswagen. There is the second button. You press it, take your luggage, and you don't need to put your luggage on the ground for closing the trunk. You just go away, and when you leave the car, it closes automatically a trunk and locks itself. Now I'll try to leave the video frame, and the trunk will try to close itself. Now one more time, but with Mazda CX-5 trunk, imagine that your hands are occupied with bags. We do a famous foot slide by another foot and nothing happens, as there is any proper option here like Volkswagen Tiguan has. But let's not forget that each time when I say that there is no option, means that you save your money. What Mazda has instead? Again, you can open the trunk by a key fob, by a button, and also on the boot lid there is a locking button. A sign of powered boot. Let's don't be lazy. Take and put the luggage in the trunk. Look, handle levers are also here for folding the rear seats. Leave a car, lock the trunk, and let's examine the passenger compartment. Dare to state that I know Mazda CX-5 very well, not least because just recently I have taken 5,000 kilometers trip among different countries full of sanctioned goods. But what did I like the most? For sure, a windshield projector, which shows not only the speed and dead zones, it also duplicates the navigation system data, so you don't need to change the focus for the monitor. You have everything just in front of you on the horizon line. It's very comfortable and informative feature. Concerning driver's compartment, here we have analog instruments. On the right side is a quite good trip computer, color graphic panel with good enough graphics. The steering wheel is multifunctional and it's leather covered. It also can be adjusted in two planes. The adjustment is manual, which is not a sin for such a grade. Also start-stop button we have here, which means the keyless go options. The central console. This monitor is done in the style of BMW. And who the hell I am to criticize BMW solution, but frankly speaking, I prefer when a monitor is fixed in the dashboard. But instead of a monitor, air vents are built in here, which pretty much remind me Darth Vader, as Mazda drivers mention, or a sad aunt. Don't be sad, my friend, I'll now set up your eyes. A little bit below you will see heated seat buttons, and thanks to Japanese gods, heated steering wheel button. It's really awesome option. What else do we have here? Dual zone climate control system, which is perfect in action, trust me. Also on the central console you'll see a special knob button, and it's obviously useful as despite the fact that this color monitor is equipped with a touch screen, it stops to function at a speed higher than 30–40 km per hour. As Japanese consider this is not safe. In such a case, the knob button will serve for you. So what is the manipulator for? Thanks to it, you can reach the musical system. Further, you can connect your phone by Bluetooth. You can use USB connector, also navigation system is here, so to be honest, the optionality is not bombastic, it's not Volvo XC60, not BMW X5, and moreover, Range Rover Velar. But still, this grade is good enough for such crossovers class, especially taking into account quite poor Ukrainian market, when each extra $1,000 is a forcible argument for choosing and buying less expensive car. Perforated leather seats quite comfortable, but without obvious lateral support. Concerning material quality, usually this leather I call as pig ear before W was using it. Now BMW changed it for ultra-thin high-quality leather after purchasing Rolls-Royce brand. By the way, Mazda ought to take this example. What else? Which options of Mazda CX-5 might surprise you? Of course, the point is electric handbrake and also 2 USB connectors hidden in the glove box. I guess there is no need to talk about power fold mirrors, powered boot, i-stop system and double glass. Absolutely, this Mazda vehicle belongs to the highest line available in Ukraine. It means approximately $40,000 for one combat unit. One small but important remark: the first thing that many drivers do when they get into Mazda CX-5 is jerkily searching for central locking button. Dear friends, it's located directly close to door handles, so when you close it or open it, the same goes on all vehicle doors. Is it comfortable? Probably yes, especially if taking into account that one additional button set into 1 million vehicles means several millions of dollars. Now let's check materials quality. A dashboard is done of plastics and it's not that good. But to Mazda CX-5 credit, each place which you might touch or watch here are good. Aluminum and leather imitation inserts. And it really works. Now let's go to the back seat. For those who don't know, I'm 1 meter 90 centimeters tall, and now the driver's seat is adjusted in accordance with my size, and this means that I feel myself comfortable in the back seat, as my knees don't hit up against the seat back. Or even if they were, it wouldn't be a problem, as the seat back is soft, which gives additional 2 or 3 centimeters of flail space. About backrest, it can be adjusted, but in a very minimal way. I'm grateful to Volkswagen representatives who gave me this excellent Volkswagen Tiguan. The only thing is that it's R-line grade and it costs $15,000 more than Mazda CX-5. So when you admire all these attractive lights, graphic instrument panel, this big monitor, aluminum inserts and leather piping, remember that if you pay $40,000, doesn't mean you'll get leather saloon, as Volkswagen company always asks a great sum for each great option. I wasn't lazy and clarified for what you should pay Volkswagen and how much differs the price policy of these two companies. Thus, in Ukraine, the starting price of Mazda CX-5 is $24,000, while basic Tiguan costs $29,000. CX-5 Highline is named Premium and costs $38,600. In fact, Japanese propose 4 certain grades with limited variation of each. Volkswagen acts in a different way. The vehicle on our test costs $55,000. And of course, it looks more expensive. Now a vehicle configurator will assist me, where I easily screw in $20,000 more to basic Tiguan, and as a result receive the same amount of options or even more than Mazda has, as some of the options are accompanied with others in one package. A bit complicated, nevertheless the graphic instrument panel you'll definitely get for tremendous trunk close double button. With a keyless entry you should pay extra $1,000. And seems like it's impossible to buy only this button without keyless go system. In general the system is flexible, versatile. However, Tiguan will cost you $10,000 more, and any tricks can decrease the total price down to Mazda price $39,000 with the same grade. Volkswagen is used to create a driver compartment in the best way, the best in grade, and even in all car industry. Some words about material quality. Here nobody will spoil you with a smooth plastic or with a great deal of leather inserts or elements. Volkswagen is quite tight-fisted company. On the contrary, seats are very comfortable, good power seats. For sure I'm fond of this instrument panel because it's a big graphic panel and it's a real flick on the nose to all the rivals in its grade. As any vehicle owns such a graphic panel that it will appear in the next, not refined, but the next generation of Mazda. I do like the arrangement of this central console. The big color monitor is not sticking up on the dashboard like a Mont Blanc. It's fixed inside, and air vents are located above. In this way, everything looks more attractive than inside Mazda CX-5. Also, look, when you slide your hand, the monitor reacts, and I like it. For sure, inside the last generation of Volkswagen Golf, you can even thumb through pages, but it's still not available inside Tiguan. Also, it's worth to mention that 4-motion all-wheel drive system of Volkswagen suppresses the 4-wheel drive of Mazda CX-5 in characteristics, and we'll check it soon if it's really like that. Besides, inside Tiguan you can find a special slotted adjustment plate for choosing the driving mode – Eco, Normal, Sport or individual settings. And now it's time to check the back seat. Obviously, here you have more flail space than inside Mazda CX-5. Moreover, these seats you can move forward and back and meanwhile increase or decrease the trunk volume. The backrest is also adjustable, and on top of all of this, there are connectors for USB, 12 volts, seat heater and climate control regulator for rear passengers. Also, let's not forget about the stylish folding tables, which I usually open hardly and they always crunch, and we even have the cup holders here. Yes, it's graceful in keeping with the best Lufthansa traditions. Now I'll fold this table and check if the armrest is here. And it owns two cup holders, so Tiguan backseat is more convincing than Mazda CX-5. Nothing to add. By the way, Mazda also has the armrest and backseat heater. It's important to note that Mazda CX-5 also allows you to choose the driving mode. When you switch to sport mode, the transmission shifts very fast and provides a high-speed engine performance for a long time and wait for the aggressive ride.
Топливный партнер программы – столичная сеть АЗС «Кло».
How vehicles behave on the pavement. Everything is clear. On a good quality pavement, seems like Tiguan has good steering ability until the potholes or surface curves appear. This time Mazda easily proves that its suspension is more powerful and thereafter more comfortable. And settings are not a reason, as Mazda suspension is really more comfortable. But will it play a cruel joke for itself on a special test? Let's see. On the slalom, Tiguan is stable as expected. It's almost not rolling and keeps the path motion. From the driver's side, minimum efforts. Seems like the vehicle is doing everything by itself. That's not an absolutely truth, as a stability control can be fully switched off in both cars. The slalom result of Tiguan is 11.1 seconds. On the slalom, CX-5 is not even intending to dabble its mathematics. It's emotional and rolls like a boat on waves. Nevertheless, it scrambles all the markers in a remarkable manner. It doesn't mean that the driver is fully relaxed, not at all. On the contrary, to win over German techniques, a teamwork of a vehicle and a driver is a must. However, there is no victory, as CX-5 gives the same result as Tiguan. Quite a rare instance. The next trial is the elk test. Tiguan goes its own thing. Everything is well directed, coordinated and safe. During the elk test, speed 60, 65 or even 75 km per hour is not a challenge for Tiguan at all. But at a speed of 80 km per hour, even a car is coordinated by a safety system, all the games become real roulette. And now a driver should work hardly. Nevertheless, at a speed of 80, Tiguan successfully passes the elk test. At a speed of 60-65 km per hour, Mazda also behaves okay. Yes, it's rolling, but still it's keeping its way. Starting from the speed of 70, becomes obvious that CX-5 is not the elk test fan. However, at a speed of 75, it passes the test. That's the price for suspension, long travel and comfort on the surface curves. If you remember, CX-5 owns 2.2-liter diesel turbo engine. In brand magazines, Japanese highlight their Sky Active D technology with an accent on power output and fuel economy balance. And for real, the engine power is 175 horsepower and 420 newtons of torque. Now Volkswagen Tiguan. 2.0 TDI diesel engine, 180 horsepower, 400 newtons of torque. For obvious reasons, today Germans are silent about their ultra-modern diesels aggregates. Nevertheless, they are still popular in many countries. Both vehicles are all-wheel drive. Concerning the transmission, Mazda has 6-speed automatic transmission, 7-speed DSG owns Tiguan. Tiguan 0-100 passport data is 7.8 seconds. It's very fast, especially considering that after the renewal, Mazda is heavier and reaches 100 km per hour in 9.5 seconds. Now we'll check it alive using a drift box device, and also quarter-mile race is waiting for us. Surprisingly, from very beginning it was clear that what you can see on a paper is not always the truth. Sensationally, Mazda takes the lead for the whole distance and is several bodies ahead comparing to Tiguan. poor drift box felt all the tortures while we were checking again and again if the best Tiguan time is really 9.8 seconds instead of 7.8 like in Passport. What about Mazda? It shows 0.5 seconds better result than is mentioned in Passport. What's the matter with Tiguan? It's obvious that its transmission reaction is not that rapid at all. We have this catastrophic result. The second reason, we suppose, is that after Dieselgate, all the green focus measures have bad influence on dynamics. The vehicle is lame in all four wheels. Time for braking test. Mazda CX-5 owns 19-inch Toyo tires, Tiguan 19-inch Conti Sport Contact tires. And until we get million views of our test, we won't buy equal tires, equal in size and equal in brands. No offense, guys, but if you want to watch tests for free, you'll get different tires. It's even more interesting this way. Mazda's worst braking result is 12 meters 85 centimeters. The best one is 10.30. The midpoint of 3 trials is 11.71. The worst braking result of Tiguan is 10 meters 70 centimeters, while the best is 10.40. All 3 trials have almost the same result. The midpoint is 10.56. Thus, the Tiguan's braking path is 1 meter 15 centimeters shorter than Mazda CX-5. Will we test the all-wheel drive system? Yes, of course, and the more so we have already tested Tiguan before in very rough conditions. Here this episode. Concerning Mazda, it went off from 2 rollers very confidently, without any difference on front and rear axles, one side trial and corner-wise fixed stance trial. Mazda passes without any dramatic visual effects. I need to say that Mazda CX-5 is equipped with all-wheel drive with multi-disc rear differential. In general, in normal mode, Mazda is a front-wheel drive vehicle, but it's able to shift the torque to the rear wheels. A torsion torque distribution among front and rear wheels is 100% are distributed to the front wheels and 50-50 in case of slipping. And of course, when going off and hard acceleration, some part of the torsion torque is distributed to the rear wheels. That's why this figures that Mazda easily passes 3 rollers using only 1 front wheel, and was caught up in a trap when front wheels and 1 rear went on rollers. Somehow CX-5 passed it, and without any doubt this time, Tiguan was more convincing. What are the conclusions of today's test? If we talk in poetic language, when it was the lack of techniques, Mazda was using its temper. If throw away metaphoric expressions, Tiguan is still almost the best in its grade. But it's time to stop such talks and accept Tiguan. There is any worthy car in this class, and that is the best of the best and owns the coolest parameters ever. As Mazda shows us today, a crown requires a fight.